Alright, my beautiful baldies, we're back with a new One Punch Man chapter featuring the goddess Fubuki, and this chapter will be a lot about her. A little fight with Saitama here. He's gonna fight the music forte guy, the rank A. It's pretty funny. But we get a new character, a strong Esper. He's got like this powerful aura, and he's possibly even stronger than Psychos. We don't know who this guy is. He's not from the webcomic. We'll talk about him as well. And at the end of the chapter, we see that the battle between Fubuki and Psychos, which happened in the webcomic, but they skipped in the manga, it happened, it was just off screen, and we're gonna get to see what happened there. Now, before we dive into the chapter, in honor of Fubuki, because she's the best waifu in the entire anime universe, is multiverse, there is no better anime waifu than Fubuki, okay? Now, I have prepared something for you guys today. Something a little special. In honor of this chapter being about the Queen Fubuki, I have prepared the Fubuki Simp Song. Brace yourselves. This one goes out to all my baldies out there who simp for Fubuki and have no hair. And I think to myself, I want her to step on me. I want to give her my rock hard PP. Oh Fubuki, will you marry me? Oh so badly I want to give you the D. I never simped before, but now I'm not so sure, because I've never been this hard before. And I think to myself, how delicious it must be to lick the inside of your big booty. Walk out the door, sit on my face now. I want to curl up under the covers and embrace. You're too hot for a cartoon. You're the moon of my moon, oh Fubuki. Oh Fubuki, take my money. But I laughed way too hard making that. So before I get into the chapter review, one more thing I want to show you. Demon Rush Volume 2 was just released, my own manga. It's out now on Amazon, which you can buy in both hard copy, or you can buy the digital version. You can see it on the shelf underneath my video, and that way you can actually download it in 4K on your phone. It looks great. You can read it on tablet too. Really appreciate if you guys pick one up. We work super hard on this, and it's beautiful art, and if you like Murata art, you're gonna like Demon Rush. Okay, so let's get into the chapter. So in the beginning of the chapter, we see that Saitama still has his pets, Rover and Black S, who are just kind of like hiding out in his apartment. These were formerly mega powerful monsters who have now been reduced to being Saitama's pet. And as we met these other three A rank heroes in the previous chapters who were kind of like hazing Saitama, Saitama makes a bet with them that if they fight, the loser has to take care of the pet monsters. And Forte says, fine then, a little wager can make us take the fight more seriously after all. So for this guy Forte who fights to the rhythm of music is going to battle Saitama. And we see them have a standoff, and you're thinking like, oh crap, this poor guy's about to get turned into a ketchup, dude. And so we see what Forte does. He clicks on his headphones and he starts like moving to the rhythm seemingly very fast. I mean, it looks like there's 3 after images, so maybe he's got some, you know, advanced superhuman speed or something like that. We don't really get to see for sure. Saitama tries to tell him something, but he can't hear because he's got the headphones on, and that's when a car comes and just hits him. So when I read this, I was laughing my butt off. This is very One's comical writing. Some guys pumping up, getting ready for a big fight against Saitama, and then just gets like hit by a car. Anyways, it's funny, but the car is actually Fubuki, and as we learned before, she wants to go meet someone, and that someone is gonna be Psychos. But now we get over to the area that they actually want to go to, and we get to introduce to some new characters, particularly this one Esper wearing a mask. And these guys are part of something called the Third Eye, which apparently Psychos is as well. And what I think the Third Eye is are devotees of God. They're like villains that instead of being part of a monster association or hero association, they're devoted to bringing God back or something like that. We still are trying to get some more information about that. So we head over to the Hero Association headquarters special internment facility. Saitama has accompanied Fubuki and her gang members and everything to go approach Psychos. But Psychos is currently being visited by someone else. And that's when we see Psychos has basically been kept in prison this entire time. And we did see her during the Garo arc. We weren't sure if she was dead for like 10 chapters, and then she popped out of the rubble randomly one chapter. So we're gonna get to actually find out what happened with that. And they say something like kind of interesting here. The Hero Association says we've stripped her of all of her human rights by certifying her as a monster, which is pretty messed up because she's an Esper. She's not really a monster. I mean, she kind of was when she was fused with the Orochi, but now because they can just be like, you're a monster, so you get no rights. I mean, pretty messed up. So this new masked Esper says, for us Tsukuyomi, this sample will no doubt bring about a great leap forward in our research. So we start to talk about research, and the first thing that comes to mind is the research facility where Tatsumaki was being held a very long, I think 18 years ago or whatever, when Blast came and rescued her. And so it's very possible that this third eye, they're doing experiments on Espers, and they're also collecting black cubes because Blast had a black cube back then when he rescued Tatsumaki. So this third eye, the Tsukuyomi, it's gotta have something to do with God, but this is kind of a new villain kind of organization that is popping up. And I think it's pretty interesting. It wasn't in the webcomic. This is all fresh material, but I really like here that this is happening because this is telling us that we can't just rely on the webcomic to know what's going to happen. I mean, Murata and One are introducing new stories that are intriguing and have more to deal with God. So because of this Tsukuyomi and Third Eye organization, we're gonna probably get more and more information and tidbits about God and, you know, why he's sealed, where he comes from, what he wants. I mean, all that stuff will probably come over time, and this is a great segue for One and Murata to introduce us to answer those questions. So when Psychos hears Tsukuyomi, she like flips out and her hair turns into like lightning. She starts activating her Esper powers, but this new masked Esper guy points his fingers at her and just like zaps her and like knocks her out almost completely. So this guy is crazy strong. I mean, she is like doped up on medication and rope, you know, strapped to the chair, but that's still really impressive. I mean, Psychos was insanely strong. And he tells us here within the third eye we've heard so much about lies the secret to seeing into the future. And so they're gonna like open up her head and I guess kill her, searching for this third eye, the ability to see into the future. Maybe it's because she fused with Orochi or God gave her some power. Somehow they know about that, and so they want to get in her head and extract it. As Fubuki and Saitama take the super long elevator down to go see her, Fubuki has this flashback of basically what happened during the Garo fight when Psychos finally came out of the rubble, and we get Fubuki standing off against Psychos. And she says, it's been a while, former Vice President Psychos of the Third Eye. Again, Third Eye, Tsukuyomi, there are a lot of new like nomenclature being dropped in this chapter. And I love this standoff of Fubuki and Psychos and Fubuki's eyes, like she looks so powerful and demonic. It's so cool. Psychos is infuriated, still has some power left in her, and starts to have a flashback. And so this is really interesting stuff. We get to see Psychos when she's 17, like schoolgirl, and she says, when I was 17, my powers were about to surpass yours. You got desperate and sealed my powers off. Now, how did she seal the powers off? If you take a close look at this picture, I guess it's something sexual with a kiss, perhaps, or maybe her hand on her knee there. I don't know. I don't know what Murata's implying, but it seems like they were making out and Fubuki took her power, sealed her powers off somehow. And as Fubuki explains with another flashback, back when you proposed the Society for Supernatural Research Exterminates Humanity plan, the people around me said things like that's inhuman and you've lost your mind. But for Fubuki, all she could think about was surpassing her sister and being on the top of the world. And Psychos' plan was to basically exterminate all the weaklings on Earth, I guess. And Fubuki hated that because she wanted to be above people. So, you know, Fubuki has some superiority complex thing going on, and Psychos has this kind of demented, I want to exterminate most of the population thing going on. To which Fubuki has this vendetta now against Psychos, saying Psychos is my enemy and enemies must be crushed. Psychos forms a bunch of projectiles out of spiky rocks and launches them at Fubuki. And then the final page here we get is of their battle. So what happened in the webcomic is they have this crazy battle and Fubuki like upgrades her powers or something. I don't know if that's going to happen here again, but we're going to get to see the battle. And I talked about it a lot as the battle between Tatsumaki and Psycho Orochi was going on. I was like, well, how are we going to get the battle between Fubuki and Psychos? Like, that was a pretty big part of the webcomic. Now they're going to explain how we're going to get it. So, I mean, we know who's going to be the winner too, because obviously Psychos is strapped up in jail right now. But I'm really curious about the Tsukuyomi and Third Eye seeing the future and research facility, you know, where Tatsumaki was being held. A lot of stuff is starting to come together. I mean, I think the clearest indication is these guys are devotees of God. And so we'll get some more information about God soon, which is always awesome and excites the crap out of me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today and the silly song I made. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and like the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.